Good afternoon, everyone. We are back to talk about Top Chef. I was thinking about what we could call people who like Top Chef. My initial thought was tops, which yes, no, maybe. Got a little cheeky there. Chefies, foodies. Tell me in the comments what you guys would like to be called. All right. So we are looking at season 21, episode 5, called Supper Club. So this past week's episode, I was off doing some stuff this weekend, so we didn't get it out on Friday. But we are here today, and that is what is important. So again, we'll take it in the main three chunks. We'll talk about the quick fire, the elimination challenge, and then there was a lot going on in Last Chance Kitchen, and we will cover all of that. In fact, we'll probably spend most of our time talking about Last Chance Kitchen because I think that's where all the drama lies this week. All right, so quick fire challenge. The chefs are woken up by Kristen. Basically said, "Hey, we're going to send you to the farmers market out in Dane County. They're going to go pick up produce and get all kinds of great stuff. But we're not going to tell you what the challenge is or what you're going to make." So they're kind of buying stuff blind. They're thinking they're going to have to make some type of a breakfast challenge. So a lot of them are kind of going breakfasty. A few of them are going things that can be done in multiple ways. That personally, to me, is the smart way to go. Just grab stuff that you can use, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's used in multiple recipes. Things like eggs, spinach, lettuce, those types of things that you could kind of combine into different things. That would be the way that I would personally go. But again, they were thinking they were trying to beat the game. And they didn't. You can never beat the game on Top Chef. All right. So basically they all went down there, they made a bunch of stuff. And then when they get back or when they get to this rooftop, they are told that they are going to be making sauces. Sauces from a man named Carson Gilly. He was the head chef at the University of Wisconsin-Madison from 1926 to 1954. He was one of the first Black chefs to kind of have his own cookbook, his own cooking show. Him and his wife kind of had their own cooking shows in the 50s. Very progressive for that time. Basically, they had a bunch of sauces that they had to kind of like randomly draw from and then make those. The winner ended up being Charlie, who had a Creole sauce. It was already something similar to something that he already makes in his restaurant, so he kind of had an advantage. There was some weird ones. Our girl Michelle, she got something with like raisins, I think, or something, a raisin sauce. So there was some weird stuff in there. Highs and lows. Basically, Charlie was the guy who came out and won that. From there, then, the two guest judges that were there actually owned the Supper Club, which is where the name of the episode comes from. Now, we don't have a lot of supper clubs around here. I might have went to one when I was a kid in the late 70s, early 80s, but that was a long time ago, and I don't remember anything about it. We would have done it on a vacation. It clearly wasn't anything here in the Quad Cities. But they basically went to these people's supper club restaurant. They were kind of given the experience, kind of shown kind of how these things are progressed and kind of what they do at kind of each of the stages. And they were basically asked to create a supper club dinner. They were given $1,000 for basically 5 courses, and it ended up being, very tight. I know there was one guy, I can't remember who, he ended up basically kind of getting screwed. Basically, everybody should have gotten like $200, and one person went kind of like all in and spent a bunch of money, and he ended up with only like $78. Excuse me, for his budget, which obviously isn't great in there. But he ended up kind of middle of the pack, so it didn't end up affecting him too badly. But he didn't win and he didn't lose. He was just kind of middle of the road in there. Rosika was the one who was coming into that with immunity. So she was the one so she should have really kind of taken desserts, but she was really kind of adamant about taking the fish course. We'll left our girl Michelle with the dessert course. She ended up actually doing okay and making a decent dessert, but it's kind of touch and go there. They like to play up that kind of drama in there, but strategically, I get why she didn't want to do it, but strategically, probably it was better for for Rosika to take that dessert dish. All right, so they go all through there. Basically, they try out all the stuff. We see them all. The elimination challenge ends up being the winner ends up being Dan, who was the guy who'd actually had Supper Club experiences before, so he kind of knew what he was getting into. He had the kind of the crudités kind of already laid out, so he knew exactly kind of what he was after. Our guy Charlie, who actually won the quickfire challenge of the morning, ended up being the one who gets eliminated. His fish was just way overcooked. He started at like 30 minutes early, way too early for cooking that fish. So he needed to he needed to wait on that, and it ended up be affecting his dish and sending him home. That then sends them on to Last Chance Kitchen, and that's where we have the drama. So we have 3 folks looking to get into the competition, and basically they did it in 2 parts. So Sue, Kalina from last week, and then Charlie were asked to make a breakfast version of a club sandwich. Basically a layered type of sandwich kind of with breakfasty items. So Sue made a breakfast club with pork cutlet, eggs, fried raisin bread, orange marmalade, cheddar, and Mornay sauce. I actually thought that was probably the one that I would probably eat the most. Kalina had a toasted croissant with bacon, tomato chutney, poached egg, and chipotle hollandaise sauce. And then Charlie had a sandwich with fried plantains, grilled skirt steak, his pickles, which is also kind of what got him knocked out. That's some type of like spicy coleslaw, avocado, and a harissa cream sauce. Kalina was the winner there, so she got to be safe. And then they had another episode. This was their mid-season 2-parter, where basically they had 30 minutes to put themselves and their culinary styles into a single bite, which is challenging in and of itself. Basically, Tom gave them spoons and said, "Here, fill this up," and off you go. So Sue made a Caesar salad, and then he kind of smoked it, which was kind of an interesting twist. In there, Kalina made. It says here in Wikipedia, grilled venison with miso, sweet potato puree, mushrooms, daikon, and pear. And then Charlie decided to make some, for the life of me, I don't know why. The guy who does Haitian and Caribbean food decided to make pasta. I don't know why he decided to do that. And that's basically what got him eliminated. So out he went. And then Tom basically kept hedging his bets and basically called it a tie. And so both Sue and Kalina are going to go back into the competition next week. We knew that our boy Sue was going to go in there just because just the way that they had his track set up, that they were kind of scamming him to be in there. But I think Kalina probably made a strong enough dish that Tom was just like, I can't eliminate her and send this guy too. So I either have to declare it a tie or let kind of the cat out of the bag that this was a little bit rigged. So basically he sent them both back into the competition. So that is what things shook out for last week. Now, next week, we were basically coming back into the competition. It'll be, I believe, 11 folks now because they were at 10, eliminated 1 to 9, and then we're going to add 2 back in. So that should take us to 11. Basically, then none of these people have ever seen Sue before, at least most of them haven't. So we're going to kind of see how all that shakes out. So next week ought to be an interesting episode. Other than that, that's kind of what we have for our review today. So make sure that you are subscribing and liking us on YouTube and Facebook. Follow me on Facebook and Threads as you are out there. And then if you are here in the Quad Cities and you are a football fan, make sure that you are dropping by Kavanaugh's Thursday night for the NFL draft party. We will be there from 7 p.m., probably 6:30 p.m. all the way through until the last pick of the night. Last year we went to almost 11, so it was a late night there, but we will be there until the last pick of the first round. And for your viewing pleasure, DJ and I will be on WHBF tomorrow afternoon and at the 4 p.m. Hour talking about the draft show, so make sure that you tune in for that, DVR it, and tell all the good folks at WHBF that you want more of us. All right. Other than that, we will see you guys next time. Thanks a lot and have a good day.